Okay, so we are in Natches, Mississippi. We've come down for a couple of nights to explore downtown and all of their fun. I'm crossing this way, but I don't know that that's the right way.
It's not.
I'm trying to film at the same time. It's not working. Anyway, Natches is the oldest town in Mississippi, and it's on the Mississippi River. And we came down here because it is one of our favorite writers, Greg Iles. We've read a lot of his books, and he bases almost all of his novels in Natches. So we just thought it would be a fun town to look around, but also a fun town to go antiquing and thrifting. So there are apparently a ton of thrift stores / antique stores a street over on Franklin Avenue. So I'm just gonna kind of do a little bit of a slow panorama view of the downtown area. And if you head straight down that way, you hit the Mississippi River. So I'll show you guys that as well. But anyway, I wanted to bring you along on our little adventure, and hopefully we may be able to find some interesting stuff. Okay, so this is Franklin. And I don't know which direction we're going, but as you can kind of see some of the architecture of this area. So it's off the beaten path. We had to fly from Knoxville to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Jackson, and then we drove about 2 hours from Jackson to get here. So it has the feel and history of like a Charleston or a Savannah, but it definitely has more of a hidden gem vibe than the more commercialized towns like it. So there's a consignment store. And this one's called Nachz Unique. Wonder if it's open. Looks like it doesn't open until 10, but it's open tomorrow. The shop's at Crest. They have some fun stuff in there. Look at those. What are those? Like copper plated wooden trinket dishes. And there's some old cookbooks. I'm peeking through the window here. I don't know if you can see in. Huh, that definitely looks like something. That's a cute little outfit. And that jacket with the horses on it. Last year at this time, we were in Kentucky at the Kentucky Derby. We went with Lee's mom, and it was amazing. Closing sale, consignment, and more. Jolene chair, $14. Looks like there's some vintage Natches coffee mugs. Anything else in there? Looks interesting. Anyway, if you ever have a chance to do the Derby, we did like box seats, and it was like the fancy VIP, but it was so fun. And I might try to insert some photos of Lee and I in our fancy Derby outfits with our hats and all the things. It was fun. It did end up opening up and pouring on us while we were waiting to go back. Oh yeah, I'll show you that picture too. We found ourselves a little coffee shop, and we're having some morning coffee. Well, we've already had a few cups, but we're waiting for, can you hear the church bells? Isn't that so nice? We are waiting for the thrift stores to open. There's one directly across the street. They're painting on the outside, but it's called Franklin Street Relics, and it looks really interesting. So 10 a.m. seems to be the time of day that everybody opens. And then at 10:30, we're doing a little golf cart tour of all the old homes in the town. So I might take you guys along for that too, but I'm gonna pop into some of these stores and see what goodies we can find. Just interesting stuff, because it's so off the beaten path and you have to work really hard to get here, that I'm hoping we can find just odd, curious things. My favorite. If Junkin is wrong, I don't want to be right. It's antiques. Customers wanted, no experience needed. We offer sweet tunes, cool vibes, and fantastic junk. How do we get into this place? Is this the door? It doesn't look like a door. No, it's locked. I don't actually know how you get in there, but it looked cool. Maybe that's how you get in there, but it's not open yet. Oh, that's cool. Some of these things I'm already liking. Okay, this is the Franklin Street Relic that we were... Half-body cane-toed purse. Oh my lord, look at this. It is a change purse. It looks like a toad. $40. That is hilarious. Okay. Oh, I love these. These will sell for good money. If you ever find these out in the wild and, you know, they're not marked at antique store prices, the bigger ones, like this one, will sell for good money, and these smaller ones sell as well. So these are worth looking out for. Even if they don't have the key. I've sold them before. I'll try to insert that here so you guys can see what I've... Bookmarks, or bookends always do well for me. Especially brass, but really any kind. And if they have an interesting theme or subject matter. Ooh, I really like that. Pumpkin. Glass pumpkin. I would not be able to travel with this on the airplane, so I'm gonna leave that, but that's cool. Oh, I love these. 30% off. Look at how beautiful those are with the beveled mirrors. Okay, let's see what she wants for the set. $40. I would buy these for $40 for the set. Just because they're so beautiful. Even though this one's missing prisms, just the whole look of it. Hollywood Regency, Victorian with the brass. It's got all of it going for it. But I don't know that I could get those home safely on an airplane. Look how funny this little ashtray is. This dog has his leg up and it says, "Do your cigarettes taste different lately?" And this is Natches on it. That's cute. These little juice glasses I like. Swanky swig glass is what it says. Those are cool. It's a cool design. I like this old milk glass. Fire King. I used to buy a lot of milk glass, but it does not move in my store. So I'm finding that the longer I've done this, the more I just go with stuff that I like. I like that. I like that frame. Interesting. What does it say? 45. Really pretty. Okay, we gotta get ready to go. But I love this place. I could spend all day in here. What does that say? That's a 10. Phillips Milk Magnesia tablet. 7 Great Seal buttons. Vintage Cobalt. Because there's just too much to look at. These little small things would be easy to take back, travel with. They'd fit in your suitcase easily. These old straight razors, I think I've said this before, but they can go for good money, especially if they have the original box with them. I'm talking like $40 to $50 range, unless they're really collectible, and then they can go for more. But books, oh, that's cool. Look at this. Oh, that's glass. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I don't know if that's, oh, it's new. It just is made to look old, but it's modern. That's really cool. Okay, we've got to go. Like that mirror and all of this old stuff. All this old prints. Those are cool. They're framed old playing cards on a background. I like that frame. Swan Down. Henry Tetlow's Swan Down. That is so cool. And this mirror here. I'm feeling that.
Put a military installation here just because this whole area was situated so high above that significant body of water. Now this won't surprise y'all, and no offense to the French, but you know how they are. They have a reputation for several things, but one of them's kind of being lazy. It took them 30 years to get their act together and get over here and actually settle the town. The thing was built in 1838, and it's actually a brick structure. And back in those days when they would build massive buildings like this out of brick, the walls could be anywhere from like a 4 to a dozen bricks thick, and they're 5 bricks thick in this building. Importantly, the home was purchased in 1864, and this is toward the end of the Civil War, by a fellow named John Hunter, and he had just been elected the new mayor of Natches. He'd been serving for maybe 3 weeks or 3 months when he bought it. This was all natural. Nobody brought in a bunch of dirt and piled it up. So Frederick Stanton, who I mentioned just a few minutes ago, decided to build his dream home on top of it. And this guy, like I said earlier, was a businessman that lived up in upstate New York. And he just had all these friends down here that are just rolling in all this cotton money. So he finally decided to get into the game himself, but not knowing anything about farming. That's why he bought up the last remaining land across the river. Y'all, it was 16,000 acres. But he built this before he opened the first of his several stores. So when y'all see the photographs and anything with the name Schwartz hanging out in front of it belonged to this guy.
This is Miss Sally Durkin. If you're ever find yourself in Natchez, do the open air tour. She's very knowledgeable. And how long did it take you to get certified to do the tour?
It took me 6 months to learn the whole script and get it all crammed in my little
and she's crammed it in my head for, an hour. So I have to process everything she said, but it is well worth it. So come see her if you ever make your way down here.
She doesn't have to take a test. So.
That's right. I just get to enjoy it. It just flows through me. So if I remember something, we'll be lucky. But anyway, come see her open air tours. I still don't know how to get into this place. Somehow. I might get in there. Okay, we're back. We've left Lee at the hotel. He's taking a nap. And I'm back at the Franklin Street Relics. And this booth is amazing. Look at that. American Beauties, Maggie Jones. This round, look at that, with the needle point. It says original. Let's see if I can get this. Let's see this.
Oh, you brought it to
Original
No, I
antique
mean,
engraving
right
of
here.
the
Yours?
Americas out of Shields established.
Phoenix
Natches
bird.
245. So beautiful. This one here?
Uh-huh.
It's really beautiful. I love that frame.
A bird over here, up top, up in the middle over there.
Oh, up here.
Robert would watch your refrigerator. Robert didn't
Yeah, look at that beautiful thing.
He worked on you for me.
Look at these sabers. Original antique French 1845 model officer's sword.
My blue commode.
Uh-huh.
Used by the Confederate officers during the Civil War. That is so cool.
My food with old Frank have old glass, a lot of old glass too.
That's so cool.
Those are called crayon portraits.
Those there up at the top?
And what they've done is, years ago, the photographers would take a picture,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't just a picture that's blown up. They had a way of putting that image up on a piece of board, and a person would charcoal it, you know. That's how they call it, crayon portraits.
Oh, I
That's what they
see.
call those.
I never knew.
Uh-huh.
Is this one too?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
A lot of times, and they're hand done. They're charcoal. But what they've done is they take a photo, and that photo, they put that up on the wall. You know, they take a picture of that, and it reflects up on the thing. That's how they do it.
That's just so cool.
Uh-huh.
That's
Where are you
amazing.
from?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, East Tennessee.
Uh-huh. What do you collect?
Well, I kind of do a little bit of everything, but
Uh-huh.
also I'm just a curious person, so I
Oh,
tend
sure.
to just go to what draws me to it.
Right. Well, we've got like an 1830s house,
And,
and I have a lot of early furniture, Louisiana furniture.
Oh, yeah.
Four-poster beds with the brass ball feet, pretty nice.
Yeah.
New Orleans bed,
Yeah.
another thing. So,
Yeah, I just love this whole store. I could
well,
spend
great.
I could
Great.
spend days in here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and these are beautiful.
Yeah, those are the Indians. Uh-huh.
Wow.
A little pair of those. This one has a gun on it, which is a little rarer.
Yeah.
And you can document I've got a book over there, you can document all the ages of those.
That is so cool. And what about these?
That's fly catchers.
Really?
Yep. The flies,
But crawl in there.
they crawl in there, they can't get out. And a lot of times what they do...
Why did these go out of fashion? Because I need one of these at my house.
they have a lot. In fact, in Natches, a lot of people that in different places, they were real popular in Natches. And the flies would get in there, wasps,
Oh.
and they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
They didn't know that they could fly down. And what they'll do is just die in the liquid.
Oh, you put liquid in there.
Yeah, sometimes you can put liquid, but sometimes like fruit or whatever, you can do it.
Just
A lot
to
of
get
times you
them
can
in
put
there.
Bird feed in there, like mockingbird feed, like
Okay.
green. You don't want to get the red, but you get the green.
Okay.
Every time. But a few of the places here in Natches had something like a doily that they would put up so you wouldn't see the dead flies.
To protect other people from having to see it. Wow, that is so
You don't see
cool.
them very much. I bought a collection
1850s.
years ago.
Oh, from somebody. Wow. I love that.
I'll tell you something that's kind of interesting. Are these cards? The
Oh
Civil
yeah, I
War
was
period.
seeing them
The
on
Civil War
the.
period. See, they don't have a number. What it is like that's
Oh
a 10.
yeah, right. Okay.
They don't have numbers. That what they call these are Civil War period cards without indices. And like the king and queen and jack and all, they don't have what they call indices. Can you imagine playing poker and you say, I
You have
got a
to
pair
sit
of
and
10.
carry.
No, I mean 8. And so I lose.
So,
you
is
know.
there a reason why they don't have
Well,
it?
they never thought about it at the time. I mean, they didn't really come out with the indices till later on.
Ah, okay. So it wasn't a reason. They didn't do it because of the war. It just was that period of time.
Like I said, they're Civil War age. The early cards.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I have some incomplete decks, and then I have some full decks. But they were gambling. A lot of people get these and do a kind of a little framed thing.
Oh, yeah. I've been
over there.
seeing that at
Uh-huh.
different places. Now, this is beautiful. Just that
yeah.
frame, and that's just
I
an
got
original
that out of
greeting
a
card.
mistake.
Really pretty.
So, yeah.
Wow. I love that.
That's little advertising fans
That is so cool.
that were out of a
Love that
collection.
frame too.
The lady that collects fans, but not only she collected, but she collected the advertising fan, little.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I see more of the cards over here.
Yeah, I collected those for you.
That is just too cool. Now, what's a troke card?
That's not a. That's called a
Troke card or troic?
Gluck card.
Gluck.
Truck.
Okay.
Yeah. Toric card.
Yeah.
From,
And that's just like
it's a
Victorian era.
Yeah, a game.
Oh, almost like something like bridge or unique like that.
Like that, but it's more of
an actual game. You have to have the actual cards.
Let me tell you, sometimes these cards like that, I have found some of these that are in attics at some of the old homes. Mm-hmm. There'll be incomplete decks. Mm-hmm. Sometimes what they do with the incomplete decks, they will write on them, like let the kids play a little game. They put like happiness on some of them, and then make a little game out of the leftover cards.
That is so funny. That's interesting.
But sometimes you can frame those up, and they're real decorative too.
Same here. Wow. Really
See
interesting.
that one right there? I think it's got, it's a German. No, that one doesn't have. Some of them will have a thing. Now that's a little later, 1880s.
Okay.
Taurite card. Yeah.
I love these. So interesting.
Advertising.
My mama uses Atlas flower.
Right. Well, actually, what they did was they would let children. They will give them a free card.
Like a free
picture
photo.
Because of
The advertise.
They can advertise that, and they will use their advertisement in other things. So they get
the free portrait.
They get the free portrait.
But then they can use it for whatever they want.
Advertisement, right.
Wow. I love those. I think those are so cool. I think somebody would want those. Isn't he full of knowledge? Exeter Cathedral. What does that say? I don't know, but that is so cool. Polton's photographs. Lee, London. I love that. It's the worn velvet. I just love him. He's so fascinating. Pat McCainy, pastel of learned monument at Natches Cemetery. Scary. With 2 E's. 145. Isn't she beautiful? I just love all of this stuff. And I love getting history lessons. Natches Victorian children photographs. Okay, so to find some stuff I could take home, these are from a French magazine in the early 1900s. And he's gonna do 3 for $20 on these. So I'm gonna find something of interest here. He has this was the one I was at earlier. He has so many interesting pieces, but those are like waybills for seed from Natches. Look at this. Oh, that is too cool. Election of a new president. Okay, I'll take that one for sure. Because I think somebody would frame these. They're interesting enough. prisoners. Sovereign of the Ottoman Empire. We'll take him. Oh, that is too cool. All right. I'm going to keep going through these and see what other interesting things I can find. Oh, she's pretty. La Haute de la France. I like her. I don't know what that means. $18.93. This is an assassination of some point, some sort. $18.95. I love her too. So I'm gonna take that. Oh, she's fun. Okay, I'm gonna grab some of these. Okay, so I found these. And the set, she wants $28.95. Made in Italy. I could probably sell the set, still flip it for a profit. I could probably sell the set between $40 and $50, but ultimately I'm gonna leave these. But anytime you find little framed paintings, pick them up because those are the ones that are selling the fastest for me right now. I've also sold one of these. I purchased a Goofus glass, like gilded rosette plate like this. They didn't go for a ton, but I did sell it, and she wants $18.75 for that. So right now, if you aren't noticing, what I'm doing when I'm looking at stuff like this is pretty. It's unusual enough. It's metal, like a cast metal. Wants $15. I could probably sell that for $30 if there was a set, even more. But I have to be conscious of what will fit in my bag comfortably. And when we were flying, I don't know if it's the new administration in the White House, but TSA is abnormally on guard right now. So when we were flying, I got pulled aside and they looked through my luggage because my toothpaste container was too large and I had to throw it out. And I've been flying a long time and never experienced that. So just FYI. So I'm having to be a little bit more picky and choosy about what I find. Oh, look at this beautiful thing. Don't you love her? $200, but I just, oh, so cool. $18. That is a signed print. So that's worth looking at for sure. Very interesting collection of things. What's this? Oh, this is just a, wait a minute. Oh, I've got to look at this. Hold on. It's got like a little clasp on it. I think this is like a communion set, maybe? I don't know. I'm gonna look at it. I'm making a mess over here. Catholic last rite set. What? How cool is that? Has a spoon. Holy water container. The crucifix. Wow. I've never seen one. $35 for that. I'm gonna Try and not break it, but that's definitely worth looking at. I don't know that I could fit it in my bag. We're not checking any luggage, so I don't know. I might still look at that. $35? I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay. So the warehouse sale, the lady at the consignment shop gave us directions. I don't know that we'll be able to find it by her directions. She said it's very confusing, and that's the best way she can describe it. So we're gonna go check this church out. I think these were the church bells we were hearing earlier. But behind it is this really beautiful gazebo with, I think, a fountain or a statue.
Go inside, it's open. You can check it out.
We
All right,
can?
thank you.
Thank you. He just told us it was open. The church was open, so we can go inside. So that's fun. Look at this place. Wow. It's amazing. Look at the stained glass windows. So beautiful. Okay, candles. Put some money in here. We are supposed to be quiet. R.I.P. February 25th, 1864. Dispensed by authority of the Holy See, August 27th, 1913. Okay, so we're around the front now. As you can see, just how absolutely stunning this little garden area out front is.
Spill my butt.
Okay, sorry. Lee pointed out that the last video at the estate sale was just of his bum for the first 45 seconds. Wow. Wouldn't you just want to sit here and read a book and listen to the water from the fountain? Bring a sack lunch. Maybe one day when we retire, this is what our life can be like. Don't you think? That would be nice. I think it would be nice. I just want you to see close up how beautiful this fountain is with the cherubs. Oh, just absolutely stunning. Shouldn't every town have a fountain like this in the center? I feel like yes. Trees tell such an interesting story. Oh, look. This tree here, I don't know if you can see it, but it has lights, like icicle lights strung along the branches. So I bet at night they light this up. Yeah, they've got it, you can't really see it, but along this right here, they also have them hanging. This is a little prayer garden across the street. You can walk the different paths. This path is to pray the 8 Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And then you just walk through. The reason we came to Natches is Lee and I love towns like this that are hard to get to. Just really embracing the culture of small town America. That's what we're all about. Because these things are disappearing as everything becomes more commercialized and globalized. Even the town that we live in is relatively small, but all the things that I remember about growing up in East Tennessee, just the unique way people talk and the stories that they told, and the unique Southern Appalachia culture, all that stuff, if you don't embrace it, it's just kind of going by the wayside. So we like to come to places like this because it's so culturally rich in history and things that people don't even know. So when I lived in Nashville back in the day, the start of the Natches Trace is there in Nashville. I've ridden down that road, 100 miles or so. And then we actually came to the other end of it yesterday. That is the oldest highway in America, and it is beautiful. Stunning views, quiet. There aren't any commercial exits, so you have to kind of plan out your gas stops. But anyway, that's just kind of my ramblings today, but sharing a little bit of insight of why we like to come to places like this and embrace, that this exists in our country. So there's not a terribly lot of old historic sites in our country that date, back to when the country started. So when you find them, it's nice to feel the history in the town too.